There you go guys, in this video I will demonstrate how to sew a knit sweater in clothes 3D from start to finish. And not only that, I will also have a giveaway. This is the 10 free fabric knit texture guide. You guys can download. I have the link below the video description. Okay, let's get back to clothes, and I'm going to show you how to sew this knit sweater from start to finish. To do so, first we want to import this pattern, and I'm going to select import and go to DXF. Next, I'm going to select my DXF pattern here and then click on open. By default, I have load type open, scale auto scale 100%, do not rotate, maintain original. Under option, we have import pattern annotation, auto trace as internal line, swap cutting line and sewing line, include notches, and ratio box is checked. After that, I'm going to click on OK. Step number 2, we want to remove half of the pattern that we don't need. I will marquee select half of this pattern here, and I can either right click and then select delete here, just like that, or I can simply delete by click on it and then press on the delete or backspace on the keyboard. In this case, I'm going to command or control plus letter Z to undo because we don't need to delete that pattern. However, though, we want to delete half of the neckband. Simply use this edit pattern tool, marquee select just these 2 points here and then press on the delete or backspace on the keyboard to delete. I will do the same right here with this front neckband. Marquee select, then press on delete or backspace on the keyboard to delete. Next, we want to place this pattern onto the avatar. To do that, I will come over here to the vertical toggle menu and then click on the show or hide arrangement point. First, we want to switch the tool to transform pattern tool here, then click one on the front pattern. Simply come over here and then hover the mouse over that point there, click one to place. I'm going to do the same here. Simply click on the sleeve, then click one right here to place the sleeve, and click on the back pattern here, and come back over here, click on this point here to place the back pattern. After that, we want to sew this pattern. To sew the pattern, I will use the segment sewing tool first. Simply click one right here on the front shoulder, and then click one on the back shoulder to sew them together. Next, I'm going to sew the sleeve seam. After that, I will switch my tool to free sewing tool here, then click one right here on the sleeve cap, hover the mouse to the right, click once again to end. I'm going to press on shift here and then click on this front pattern piece. Now I'm going to click on the back pattern piece, click one more time to finish the sewing and release the shift key. Next, let's sew the side seam together. After that, we are going to make a copy of this pattern. To make a copy, first we want to marquee select this pattern here, then right click, and I'm going to select symmetric pattern with sewing. Next, I'm going to zoom in a little, press on shift, and then click one right here to place the pattern. After that, I'm going to sew this back pattern together, as well as the front pattern, and there you go. After that, I'm going to strengthen the pattern here. Marquee selects all the pattern pieces, right click, then select strengthen. Next, I'm going to come over here and then click on the simulation icon here to simulate. So the pattern looking pretty good, guys. I'm going to stop the simulation here. And now let's sew the neckband. To sew the neckband, first we want to unfold this. Simply use this edit pattern tool and click one on the center, right click, and we want to select unfold symmetric editing with sewing. And I will do the same here with this back neckband. Click on the center, right click, and then select unfold symmetric editing with sewing. Next, we want to sew the neckband. Simply use this segment sewing tool, click one right here and then click one right here to sew it too. The same with the front. And then I'm going to sew these hem and cuff. Simply click one right here and right here, here, just like that. After that, I'm going to place the neckbands as well as the hem and cuff onto the avatar. To do so, switch the tool to transform pattern tool. Marquee select the neckbands first, and then press on shift and marquee select these hem and cuff. Come to 3D window. I'm going to hover the mouse over that gizmo, right click, and then we want to select superimpose side. There you go. After that, I'm going to click on the simulation icon here to simulate and stop the simulation. Next, we want to make a copy of the hem and cuff. To do so, I'm going to marquee select them, hover the mouse on there, right click, and then select symmetric pattern with sewing. And I'm going to zoom in here, press on shift, click one to place the pattern. And after that, let's simulate one more time here. I'm going to stop the simulation and we want to sew these together. I'm going to use the segment sewing tool here. Click one right there and click right here. And let's do the same here. I'm going to press on number 8 here to see the back view and click right here. And let's also sew this side for the neckband as well. Let's simulate one more time to see the effects onto the garment. Okay, we also need to sew the sleeve cuff as well. So next, we are going to do a couple more things here. Let's unstrengthen and simulate one more time. We want to see how the fabric hang on to the avatar. I'm going to hide this internal line here for now because it is a little bit distracting. And let's hide the avatar as well. Next, we want to apply elastic onto the neckband as well as the hem and cuff. To do so, I will zoom in a little here and use this Edit Pattern tool. Click one right here, and I'm going to press on Shift and zoom in. Click one right here to select both of the neckband. Then come over here to the property editor. I'm going to scroll down to elastic and check on that box right there to turn on, and I'm going to change this to 5 and then change the ratio to 90. After that, I'm going to press on Return Enter on the keyboard to confirm, and let's simulate to see the effect. I'm going to stop the simulation here and let's apply the elastic in this hem and cuff. Simply click one right there, press on Shift, click right here, and turn on this elastic. Then I will change the value to 2 and ratio to 95. Press on Return Enter on the keyboard. Then I'm going to simulate one more time to see the effect. So we're almost there, guys. Next, we want to apply the fabric property on to the sweater as well as the trims. To do so, I will come over here to the Library tab, double click on the fabric folder to open, and I'm going to type in knit and press Return Enter on the keyboard and scroll down here. Let's change the view to list, and then I'm going to grab this fleece terry, click, drag, and then drop onto this fabric one. And after that, I'm going to simulate again to see the garment, and as you can see right here now, the sweater looks much better with the fabric property. I'm going to stop the simulation, and I also want to change the name here. Let's change that to sweater. Then I'm going to create a copy here, and I'm going to name the trims. So next, we want to apply the knit texture onto the sweater. To do so, first we need to bring the fabric in to close. We will come over here to the Library tab and click on the plus sign. Then navigate to my folder. In this case, I have 310 digital knit fabric texture. So just a quick tip, guys, be sure you unzip the folder before it works. And after that, I'm going to click on open here, and I'm going to double click on this fabric folder. So by the way, guys, if I have the search box have something else besides it's empty, it won't show. So I'm going to click on this X here to close that, and now this fabric texture appear. After that, right here I have 10 texture that you can select from. 5 are argyle knit texture and 5 are 1x1 rib knit texture. I'm going to select this pink one, click, drag, and drop onto that sweater there, and then I'm going to come over here and then click on the pink 1x1 rib knit fabric, click and then drag onto the trim. Then I'm going to switch the tool to transform pattern tool, and my key select this neckband and come over here to this fabric and assign this trim fabric onto neckbands, and my key selects all the hem and cuff, and I'm going to assign this trim fabric onto as well. Next, let's arrange a couple things here. So first of all, guys, I'm going to my key selects all these hem and cuff and come over here to the edit texture tool, simply click and then drag it up. Just like that. We also want to do these neckbands. Simply my key select both of the neckbands, and I'm going to click and then drag it until I see the kind of grayish with pink. If I zoom in closely, guys, look at this amazing detail on this knit texture. We have a problem here. So as you can see right here, we have the overlap pattern texture on one another. No problem though, we will fix that. To fix that issue, we want to merge this pattern together. To do so, I will use this Edit Pattern tool, click on it, and I'm going to click one on the center, right click, and then select Merge. I will do the same right here with this back pattern, click one right there, right click, and then select Merge. Okay, so now the problem is fixed. I'm going to turn on this high quality render to see the better result of the garment. And next, we are going to do one more thing before we finish, guys. I'm going to change the particle distance to 10. Simply use the Transform Pattern tool. My key selects all the pattern pieces, and then come over here to the Property Editor, and we want to change that particle distance to 10. Then press on Return Enter on the keyboard. Okay, one more thing, guys. Let's bring this pattern over here just a little bit further so it makes a little bit prettier. And after that, I'm going to strengthen, and then let's simulate the garment. And there it is. Let's stop the simulation and unstrengthen. Okay, there you have a design tutorial. I hope you guys found the video helpful, and remember to give it a thumbs up and follow me on Encoder Fashion for more awesome videos like this. Thanks for watching, guys.